Hey, welcome everybody. Global Party Healing from the Inside Out. This is a gift. I am being joined by Rachel. Rachel is actually, it's midnight there, right?
Yes, it's midnight.
It's midnight. So
it's
again,
but I'm a night person, so it's okay.
Yes. However, you are in Israel. And so it's midnight in Israel on June 21st, but it's only 6 o'clock here for me. So this is this concept I want people to get, is that there's different experiences for each person on the planet, that you're living in the future and I'm living in the past, depending on how you want to look at it. And the idea is we want to come into the now. Exactly. Right? Find that space, the space between us. However, I got to go this way to find the space. So today you're going to talk to us about
love and about connection and about wearing masks and taking off masks and what is really important right now. What is going on? Like, what's the big picture here besides the little picture that we hear on the news? Like, you know, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of spiritual talk, but I only want to speak from my own experience. So I'm not going to talk about ideas that somebody talked about. I'm going to talk about what I feel. So
awesome.
That's I'll just say that as first of all.
Okay? And so is that one of the reasons you picked this song, because it's something that you feel right now?
Well, I find Stevie Wonder to be, I've always been very inspired by Stevie Wonder. And then when I happened to listen to the song Love's in Need of Love Today, I just rediscovered it, you know, the past few years. And I can listen to it over and over again. He's got a duet with George Michaels, and it's so potent because, and I actually wrote some of the words down, and maybe I'll just start with a few of the words from the song.
Okay.
That he's saying, he says, I have serious news to pass on to everybody. It could turn your joy and laughter into pain. Hate's going around, breaking many hearts. So stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Love's in need of love today. And then in another part, he says, we must all take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, love's in need of love today. Love's in need of love today. And it's so heartfelt. It's so profound that I have to really listen to, you know, what is he, how does that relate to what's going on right now? Of course, you know, how can we relate this song? I just love the song. Okay? And I realized that this is the time that this song has to come into realization. Like these days, these times, like any strange time in that's going on and has ever gone on in history, is also a spiritual opportunity for something to come forth, something that we've been waiting for to come forth. And that's the message of love and oneness. And this is what I want to talk about. And I want to talk about how it is that we're able to learn it now more. Why? How are we being forced, compelled, and driven to get this message in a new way?
Well, I'm just going to play a couple little bars of this. Maybe they can feel the vibe through here, because love is in need of love, right?
Yeah. And I really recommend actually George Michael's version.
Oh, sorry.
Here's your friendly yard down. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. But I'm about to say, could mean the world's disaster. Could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that
in need of love. I have to go to there.
Right.
Because hold on.
What a song! What a song!
Love. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh dear, we just had a temporary difficulty here. Okay. All right. Well, we're back. We're back live. Here we go. So love.
Okay. So like,
Love.
Love song. Are you there?
I am. I'm just
Oh, okay.
embodying that love is in need of love, and I'm singing it still in my heart. So I'm
Oh, yes,
doing my best to stay quiet here as
totally.
I'm holding the space for you to share your experience. What's going on?
Okay, so what is going on is that there's a couple things. So I'll say one thing is that there's everything that we need. If we want to know anything about anything right now, we go to the internet, right? Anything. You want to know what the population is of Zimbabwe, or you want to know how to have a Kundalini experience, from a detail to like the highest spiritual stuff. It's all there, right? You can plug into it. And are you with me here? I'm not sure if you're, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Are
here.
you here? Okay.
I'm here.
So every particle of information is currently available to mankind and almost everybody. I mean, it has access to the internet today. So, and the internet can also be evil, right? We know that there's been, the internet is porn, the internet is evil. It can be used for evil. But I believe that part of the issue here for us is that if we are able to, each one of us follows our intuition, as you say, we follow our intuition so that we can sift through this entire web, and exactly what we need is going to come to us. Like if we are in our intuition and in connected. So when I go through YouTube, boom, I get the one that is going to give me that extra piece of knowledge, of wisdom, of message that I needed to hear is going to come to me through that maze, through this loud, huge, entire ocean of information. I'm going to get it. So when I said I want to prepare to talk tonight, and I said, okay, I'm going to turn on the internet. I'm going to see what happens. Because I was first listening to Love's in Need of Love today, and it was really incredibly inspiring. And I think I got everything I needed just by watching George Michael and Stevie Wonder do this together. It was just what I saw, and then I saw Sting and Stevie Wonder, and then I saw a few other people with Stevie Wonder. I saw it was the three of them were where I'm trying to get in the middle. It was George Michael as Stevie Wonder and Sting. Okay, those three people. There's so many amazing artists. They're all amazing, right? And I realized that right now I'm ready to receive a higher vision. We're being pushed to receive a higher vision. And so I'm able to see a new layer of genius in these people tonight. I was given the gift of seeing and really getting geniuses these guys are, these amazing musicians. And then I realize that we're all so amazing. It's like if we can just get that we all, what we can see, if we can see that brilliance in Stevie Wonder, that new level that we didn't see yesterday, then there's a new level of brilliance in us. Otherwise, we won't be able to see it, right? And then it goes for every single person or every experience that we have. You're always posting your nature and you're always posting your beauty. You're plugged in to a level that I know that I'm not there. I'm not with you on that. But what I'm plugged into with these people right now, I'm plugged into it more with people because I live in the city and I'm not exposed to nature, unfortunately. So I'm getting it through people. And that means that the people that maybe were triggering me and were irritating me last week, today I'm letting them into my heart. I'm not, they're not Stevie Wonder yet, right? They're not Stevie Wonder, they're not Sting, but I'm letting them into my heart. And the people that are already in my heart, they're like, wow, I didn't know that you were so unbelievable, that you're so phenomenal. It's like, it's up a notch. It's up a notch. So it's like, I don't have to dislike anybody. I don't have to worry about if they're better than me. It's like everybody's amazing. And if we can let go of the judgment and let go of the fear and let go of the blocks and our own blocks that are stopping us from seeing underneath the mask, right? So everybody's wearing a mask, right? at least where we are. We're in the city.
Right.
We're wearing masks. And so if you think about it, we always wear masks. Everybody's always wearing an emotional armoring, right?
Right.
On our skins, on our face. And yet we don't wear a physical mask, until Corona, until this whole thing happened. And now we are, many of us, like you don't have to, but in the cities we have to wear a mask.
Mhm.
And so we're wearing a mask, but we're showing our eyes. I'm talking to people, meeting them on the street, and we're only seeing the eyes and not the rest of the face.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking there has to be something. This is really, the eyes are the window to the soul,
Mhm.
right? So if I'm only seeing their eyes and I'm not seeing, anything else in their face, their expression, I have to actually see deeper. I'm forced to see deeper.
Yes.
So that's one example. Right? And the other example to come back to that I think is huge is the internet, because, we have to see deeper through technology right now. So
Mhm.
if I have to be alone in my house and I'm alone in my room, or, I can't have this room full of people right now, and I can hear and I can talk to you right now through thousands and thousands of miles,
Mhm.
through technology, through a screen,
Right.
So I want to be able to feel you and like see you and really get you without having you here with me. So
Mhm.
I'm forced and compelled, if I really want to get you, to have a different dimension of seeing. I'm not just seeing the way you look right now, but I want to see deeper.
Right.
And even the fact that if I can feel you through all of this, whatever's between us right now, which is a lot, right? You're not here. You're nowhere near me. You're in Canada. I'm in Israel. We could be physically further apart. It's midnight. It's past
Right.
midnight, and right, it's daylight for you. So what does that mean? What does that mean that I can connect to you this way? What does that mean about the nature of connection, of human connection? It's revolutionary, because
Yeah.
I can learn from this that you and I are connected, and that I'm connected with everybody all over the place. Everybody must be saying the same thing, but all over the world, Africa and England and United
Mhm.
States and Indonesia, and I can feel these people, and we're all feeling each other through this web, right? The web. Interesting
Mhm.
that it's called a web. We're webbed together by a web.
Right.
And so if we can see that, if we can get that, then we can know that we're all one, and we can give love what it needs. We can give love what it needs, that it is to just allow it. What love needs is to just be allowed in, and to stop being so afraid of each other. Basically afraid of each other, and afraid of who am I if I'm not irritated by you, or who am I if I like if all the people that I usually don't like, if I like them,
Right.
can I still be me? Like, am I protected? Because that's a big thing to let go of. Even in my late 50s, there's still those people that we say, oh, they're not
Right.
they're far from they're not they're not my type, or we're not on the same thing, or
Mhm.
we don't resonate, or they're irritating. Who doesn't? I think all of us who have not yet quite reached enlightenment have different degrees of this, right? Am I alone in this?
Oh, I think you're like spot on that not only is it or like loving each other and knowing who we are, I also feel that it's about loving the self, in that sense is sometimes people are unable to love another because they have yet to embrace the magnificence of themselves. Like you just said, you noticed within the three artists, and whether that's because of our history, right? Or whether that's because of something in ourselves, but it's like the shadow comes with us. And the shadow, in a sense, are those ideas that we don't have to, but you can choose to look and go, you know what, I did do that, or I was like that, or I'm still okay. That was an experience. Now's the next experience. Am I going to be more loving and kind? I remember being in North Carolina last year, and I was with a gentleman, and there was a Black homeless gentleman that was walking with, with his shopping cart and about 9 different bags, sort of thing. And he was coming up, and I said, I just walked up and said, would you like a hug? And he's like, sure, and I gave him a big hug, and I just felt like that was what I was to do, right? I do these things. But I was in a different space being in North Carolina, and this other gentleman was like, wow, I never would have thought, I just took him the same way as you said, to another level of what you do when you're encountering a stranger. And it's like, are they a stranger though? Or as you say, as we look and we connect with each other's, eyes, and we see that this is the window to the soul, we recognize ourselves. And now we really know who we are as a whole versus seeing the separate expressions of the individual and uniqueness that we are in that. But we're still in that web of connection.
And that's right. And so something about what has been going on for the past few months, where everybody's feeling everybody, or you'll put on Facebook and somebody is talking to you from somewhere else about what they're going through, and you're just like, wow, who is this person? I totally feel this person, and they just showed up on your screen, and he's a guy, and he's like 20 years younger than you, and you get that we're all connected, and so you can go and hug somebody on the street. But what I'm hoping, if love gets what it needs, is that we can all do that. We don't have to be afraid to do that. And another thing, like in terms of compassion for yourself, I also feel like this is a time where we are getting perhaps more triggered by people, or the people that we love, or people around us, or even if it's not a time in general, we get triggered. And that now this opportunity is like we have deeper vision. I feel like we have deeper vision because we're seeing more. We're being forced to see more and to understand more. And so we see our own shadow more, the shadow that is saying, I can't let that person in. It's dangerous for me to let that person into my heart. And then to go back and say, I have compassion for myself, that it's hard for me to just love you just because you're another human being. And even it's hard for me to just be able to love you, right? Yeah. But that, and have compassion for that the fact that it's hard, and that's the work. And that if I can have compassion, like for myself, that it's hard for me to just do this work and love you just because, right? Then that's there's more space there. There's more space, there's more self-love, and then we're closer to where we need to go, to where we want to go as humanity, to getting that we're all one, and that we're all connected, and there's no separation. And this mask is like such a great analogy. It's like we're putting on a physical mask now, but we're taking off other masks. We actually took off I hope enough of us, a lot of us, are taking off our emotional masks, or de-armoring to some level. And one more thing about the song is that it's so beautiful that Stevie Wonder wrote it, and he's a blind man. He's a beautiful blind man, and he can't see. He can't actually see through his eyes, but he feels so much, right? He feels so much. And those of us who we can see, those of us who have the ability and the gift and the that we can see, with or without glasses, but we can see, we may not be feeling as much as we could feel. And the fact that we can't let all that love in is because we're not able to feel everything that there is to feel. Like, I can see everything, but can I feel everything? And if you go back and hear him sing, and you hear George Michael sing, and you hear sing, and those are just some examples of these great musicians that we grew up with. These guys are feeling it, and if they weren't feeling it, they wouldn't still be going strong. I mean, George Michael's went strong until he passed at a young age, but they would not be the masters that they are if they were not deeply feeling what they're singing about. Like another one I listened to was Sting singing The Shape of My Heart. The Shape of My Heart. And I'm just watching him. I'm watching these on YouTubes. I've got it on with a speaker sound in my living
Right.
room. You know, it's a big, huge screen. And this guy has so much soul and so much feeling. And he's doing love. He's making love. He's in love.
Right.
You know, I don't know, maybe there's stuff about him that I don't know and I sound really naive, but I know he meditates and does yoga. So there you go.
Yeah.
So he's got,
But I think that's
so
that's the part of it though, is sometimes we want to, when you talk about the mask and about a person, there can be another side to them, right? And and it's in that sense of recognizing that everybody isn't, they've been wearing this mask of, or been created this idea of perfection. Like, it's interesting that you talk about this, because I was thinking earlier, I don't know what someone was saying, is, women, we got trained to put on masks, makeup, like from the beginning time, is that, we just didn't look good enough unless we had on makeup, and then the guys had to start to get involved as they started to market to them, things like that. And I remember my girlfriend, her mother was in Turkey for a while and came back with a burqa. And we all tried this on, right? And it was interesting. Out of, like, I think there was, well, let's just say there were 6 of us. Okay. So out of the 6 of us, 3 of us felt it was intimidating, right? That it was heavy, we're covered up completely. All you can see is the eyes. And we were like, wow, I'm just so glad that I don't have to wear this, right? Because this just feels really heavy and daunting. The other 3 felt complete freedom. They felt like they couldn't be judged for anything. They couldn't be judged by the way they looked or the shape of their body, or, it was just all you could see were their eyes. And when we allow this experiences, right, which is what I think, Corona did, is it gave us that gift to actually be contained, to be in our house without feeling stressed about going to work. For a lot of people, a lot of people were still doing things online, but you were it was like forced mindfulness meditation retreat, like everybody had to look at whatever they need to look at for themselves. And in that space, we started to open up our hearts. And as we opened up our hearts, we're starting to, as you say, the masks are coming down, because we're saying, why have I been acting like this? Or why has that been important to me? And why haven't I noticed that essential person? And why aren't I realizing I've got a ton amount of money, and this person over here who's, on the front lines, why, maybe I need to help them out. Like, it's this redistribution from mindset to heart set.
Yes. Yeah, and I'll add, why didn't I know that my friend is that amazing? How could I not notice that gorgeous tree on my street that I walk by every day? It's so much more beautiful than I realized. Or, why am I so hard on myself?
Right.
So this lesson, the lessons that we're learning from the masks and from seeing each other and connecting to each other through a screen, and through thousands and thousands of miles, and personally in my work, as I do like more hands-on healing with people. So people couldn't come to me,
right?
And a few people wanted to do it on Zoom, even though it's hands-on. And so we were able, to my surprise, able to make a connection, a body connection, where they felt the experience of being touched or held or soothed without the touch. So that's a lesson, that's teaching me, that's multi-dimensional experience. That's reaching somebody to their deepest essence through all of this. I can almost touch you, right? But I can't, but really. And then also, like, teaching your dog. Your dog is that your dog?
No, that's the neighbor's dog.
Oh, okay. So I'm a yoga teacher. I've been teaching yoga for almost 30 years. And in my wildest imaginations would I imagine teaching yoga on a computer. I mean, on a screen. It was like, but boom, right away there I was teaching on Zoom, and realizing that it was actually it was valuable. There was a lot. There was an experience that was really working
Mhm.
for between me and my students. And these are lessons. Or I've been in praise circles, where we're zooming the praise circle, and people all over the world are connecting.
Right.
I'm with them live, and we see people all over the world connecting to us here in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And something is so so needs to be spoken about the fact that what we can learn from that, what we're learning from that. Not just that, the internet has all these new uses, and that, Zoom is so cool, so great, and their stocks are gonna go way up,
Right.
but but the fact that human beings are able to be with each other in a multidimensional way, and really get each other, really feel each other, and that's always been there. I always could have felt you in Toronto or in Prince Edward Island, but we always were connected,
Mhm.
but we're able to actually, we're all really connected anyway, but now we're being shown that in a new way. So that's opening up a new part of our experience, I think.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And I feel that in this idea that people recognize that because they were forced to, right? Like most people weren't going to take this on, on their own, but because they were forced to connect with who they wanted to connect, or to, explore yoga online, or somatic healing, right, online, it's then this idea that, wow, if you only have to teach a yoga class, let's say online, did it save you some time versus having to go down to the yoga studio?
The students are getting that, right? The students are saying, well, why don't we just keep doing it like this? Um, which, wow, that opens up a lot of possibilities, right?
Right.
Not that that's, not that that can replace being, I mean, can it, replace being with the teacher, really being with the bodies? Who knows? What's going to happen?
Let me ask you this.
Everything.
Let me ask you this. So in the idea that we're, a greater connection, source, consciousness, God, oneness here, is it like I look out here and I see the ocean, right? That's the essence, or the oxygen in the air, right? That this is who we really are. We can't see. This is really who we are. And
right.
So it's like we're in the video game, and we're busy pointing at all the kids saying, get out of the video game, come back to real life. And they're like, oh, you've forgotten. The video game is what you guys are playing, and you think it's real. Right. And so are we just naturally connected, and we're just waking up to that with the mass? We're seeing each other with the soul.
Yes.
We're seeing and feeling each other and going, it's irrelevant that, because you're here with me right now. It's certainly,
right.
If I have to go to get on a plane and fly, how long is it flight from Toronto to Jerusalem?
Like 12 hours at least. It's just to Tel Aviv. It would take you like 24 hours to get here, altogether, door to door.
Right. So 24 hours, I can feel your physical existence and hug you, right? But and look more deeply, but it's like I sense you now in this experience. Like, for me, it's this awakening to who we really all are, and recognizing that every person is, like, I'm using the analogy of like a cell in the body, so we really are part of the whole. And just like you're saying, the web, it's like we're all in this together, and we're waking up to that fact instead of seeing each other as individual and separate.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And if we have, and that's the bottom line, if we get that, then love gets what it needs. That's what love needs, is that we get that we can love each other, that we don't have to be afraid. We basically don't have to be afraid to love each other. And he said that it's We must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say love's in need of love today. So, and George Michael said a few years before he died in another song, he said in a song called Praying for Time, he said, it's hard to love, but there's so much to hate. It's hard to love, but there's but it's no, it's yeah, there's so much to hate. It's so easy. It's so easy to say, I hate everything. I don't like things. I don't like this. I don't like that. This is annoying. This is irritating. It's the easiest way, then we're just very protected.
Right.
But if we say, we have to take precautionary measures against that. That's what Stevie Wonder's saying. We have to take precautionary measures about believing that it's hard to love and that there's so much to hate. Right. And now is the time. Because hate's going around, breaking many hearts. So stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Before it's gone too far. So I feel like we are now getting an opportunity to stop it before it goes too far. We can stop this cycle of hate's going around, breaking many hearts. And we have the opportunity to stop it. And so, let's stop it. And let's stop our resistance and fear to love. We have resistance and fear to love. So let's stop that. And that goes for everything. It goes for absolutely everything. There's so much capacity. And I want to talk about this is also really important here. We do not get our capacity. I say this about myself. I've only come to this much, or even, I don't know, a minuscule of my capacities. And so just tonight, when I was watching these YouTubes and I was watching these guys and just blown away by how inspiring they are, and realizing that every single one of us has these capacities. Yeah. And then as I was watching, I was doing some yoga poses, and I'm 57 and I've had a lot of injuries and I have a lot of problems in my body. And then boom, I was able to do a bunch of camel poses. And camel pose is something I don't normally do. It's like a back arch. I don't normally do it because I'm protecting my low back. So I'm walking around, and every time I practice yoga, I'm being overprotective of my low back. Just like we're all protecting our hearts. We're all protecting our hearts, right? I'm protecting my low back. So boom, all of a sudden, I opened my heart. I had this realization that this is what I want to share with you tonight. And I was doing poses and really easily that I haven't done in like 15 years. So that's just an example of our capacity. And we might know this, and we might know this intellectually, but when we really believe it, when we really get it, like when I really believed it, then I can do the poses. When I really believe it, then I can love, that I can let somebody in that I haven't let in. When I really believe it, I can know that she's just as amazing as Sting, or that we're all, including myself, we're all an inspiration. That's really it. We're all incredibly beautiful and inspiring. Yep. And it's so hard to believe. It's so hard to believe for whatever, all the different reasons, all the shadow reasons. And that here we're having an opportunity to move a little bit, to move out of that comfort zone, to move. And so, and I'm not saying it's easy. It's the hardest thing in the world. It is the hardest thing in the world to let go of a little piece of rock in your heart that's ledged there, and it has a good reason to be there, but it's like, kick it out and say, it's okay to love everybody. My God, all these people that, how could you love them? But yes, but we can, and I can't. As I say that, I know I can't, but I know that it's time. I know that it's time. And if we can do it, then we can have the party, we can have the change, and we're done. I mean, it's like,
well,
that's really all I have to say. Like, I think that's,
well, it's hold on.
Keep saying it over and over again.
No, but there's so many gems in what you're saying, Rachel. Okay, so it's like when you said about it's so hard, if the rock, little pebble or whatever's in the heart still and And I'm going to just hold that space. And that's, why I call it, I think that, or why I was given the name the global party, is because joy, just like you said, creativity, love, in a moment, it can transcend, just like you discovered the camel pose. So it's a camel pose because I'm like, is that the bridge? Like, is that like, because, when you said that, that's why I was like,
you're standing on your knees, and you lean back and you grab your heels. I mean, it's not really a hard pose. It's not a hard back bend, but if you're protecting your back, then you're afraid to lean back that much. You're, to really push your chest forward and arch your low back in order to grab
right.
your feet from behind. So I just have I've been avoiding it,
right.
amongst a lot of other poses. So if I could do that,
Yeah.
then what else can I do?
Well, exactly.
And what can you do?
Well, that's what
can everybody do? Right?
One of those thoughts that came to me I don't know if it was a couple of weeks ago, and I just thought, as a kid, it was playing. I had more fun. And what are some of the things I like to just do? I'd be like, oh, I'll do a handstand now. I'll do a Brit. And so I just was like, can I even do a handstand against a wall? And then it was like, oh, I can.
I just
so
did
now
one yesterday.
It's like the same thing. Like, we're the same age, and it's just like, that's fun. So that's become part of my new habit. It's like, I'm just gonna hang on my handstand for a while. And it's like, when
let's do things that we think we can't do. Like, this is a time. Like, let's go for it. Like, let's do things that we don't think we can do. Like, we talked about moving, and I said, I really want to move, and I have this idea to move up north. And it's like, I'm terrified. I'm terrified to move. I'm so comfortable here. Why would I move? All my friends are here. My family is here. And it's like, why not? If you can take a chance, and you can go into an unfamiliar territory and find something new, just like the camel pose or a handstand. It's all the same thing. So that's the fun part of this. The fun part of this is if you can go with something, whatever it is outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's going on a fast. I want to go on a fast. That's not in my comfort zone. So it could be anything. It could be putting on a piece of clothing that I would never dare put on, or never think I could get away with it, and just putting it on.
Yeah. And even the idea of letting go of people in your life, right? It's like, it's the idea of what that looks like, that you're letting go of people in your life, right? It's that set of beliefs and the meaning we have, because maybe when we move or you let go, it actually transforms into something better. You discover more, because it's one of those experiences that I've had, is that if I feel like, if it's the time to be what I feel life is about, it's to be that experience. So if I feel that we're all divinely connected, then you are my family, right? We are part of each other. So I'd posted earlier with Addie, and I was like, he's me. You know what I mean? Like, people are talking about black and white, and I'm like, he's me. He's just a different expression of me. And it's that sense of really taking it up a new notch, like doing a handstand or doing the camel pose, right? And saying, you know what? These are just ideas that we say we're restricted. We can really be the change we wish to see in the world.
But we believe them. But they're ideas about the restriction, but we believe those ideas, because it's we can prove it, we really believe those ideas of restrictions, and it takes a lot of it takes some gumption to get out of it. You're in Prince Edward Island. I'm thinking about what's her name,
Anna Green Gables?
No, not Pippi Longstocking. Anna Green Gables. She was a great example of that. She was just like, do anything,
Right.
She was a beautiful example of that, and she didn't, she had her insecurities, but we restrict ourselves. Like I said, we restrict it. If we can dare to do the handstand, or dare to, leave town, whatever it is.
Right.
Go jumping in the ocean if it's still cold, whatever it is. Yeah. Then it's like, it's something.
Right.
And something. It's
So what if 2020 just is that? It's us being able to see clearly into the eyes of another soul. It's being able for us to see multidimensionally now, where 2020 vision isn't the idea that we get to, it's like we really see the truth clearly.
Really see, exactly. I mean, 2020, how perfect is that? I mean, it couldn't be more perfect, and neither could Stevie Wonder be more perfect in his blindness. You know, he feels all of it. He feels all of it. And now we have an opportunity to step it up. We have an opportunity to step it up and meet that place of higher vision. And it takes some courage. It takes courage. It takes breaking through the fear and breaking through the resistance. We have to do this, because otherwise it's not going to change enough. So we have to, each of us have to do it. So even if each of us today try something different that you haven't done before, then boom, even if it's a yoga pose or a hairstyle, or getting in your car and driving somewhere you don't know where you're going, or giving somebody a hug on the street, or cooking something you've never cooked before, whatever it is, say, wow, I can do more than I thought. There's more capacity. And that's not just a small thing either. It's like, it says our capacity is bigger than what we know. It's bigger. And so, and I just want to add, though, about loving everyone. It doesn't mean that we resonate with everyone. It doesn't mean that everybody has to be my friend. Right. I can love you, or I can accept you and say that, you are a beautiful, lovely person and I feel you. But I don't resonate with you in terms of, I'm not saying this about you, but about anybody, that they're not necessarily going to come and hang out with me all the time. Those people I can discern. I can be discerning.
Yes.
But I don't I don't want to shut anyone out of my heart. I don't want to shut anyone out of my heart. That's the bottom line. It doesn't mean that I'm inviting them over for dinner, right? Maybe that's a new level. That's the next level, or maybe not. I don't know.
I feel some of that is that discernment, like you said. It's like, I love you, but there's still a boundary, right? There's a boundary. There's like you said, discernment. It's not a judgment. It's just like, and I've had a few situations like that where I had people that have, in a sense, reached out to me for help, but it didn't feel like they really wanted help, right? It felt like they wanted my attention. And it was a discerning moment for me to go, really, is can I believe the words they're saying, because they're contrary to what I'm feeling? And
so I have a question for you. Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
If we're really opening our minds, right?
Yeah.
So and we're trying to really, be something different than what we're used to being.
Yep.
If these people were seeking attention and not really seeking help, so there's also something very beautiful about that they wanted your attention, and maybe there was a neediness there, and that's also something to allow into the heart, say, to your heart, and say, they need my attention. So maybe they don't want to hear anything I have to say, but that's fine. They just want to be acknowledged, or to be seen, or to be heard.
Right.
I'm not telling you what to do with your time.
No. I totally understand that. And so for me, one of those situations was, because I've been working on discerning between what somebody is saying sometimes and what I'm feeling. That has been a partial lesson for me, to feel like, and at the same token, I had to realize, what does that mean if I feel like somebody's saying they want help and if I don't help them, right? And so again, I always look at, when the situation is what feels in alignment for me, that it's expansive, that I'm creating more love, and what is sort of feeling like almost like a distraction, like the news is kind of like sometimes like a distraction to say, hey, look at how bad things are, right? Look at how much there is to hate. And so it's an area that I'm exploring in terms of what I am hearing, because I do a lot of my work is on what people say and the words they use, and then the deep feeling. It's like a little subtle difference. So And I guess, maybe that's the idea, is that we're all going to be at the table together, and we all have to realize we're all just part of that expression, because everything and every one of the experiences is really about a segment of me, because we're all the ocean together, right?
Right. And I was in I know we have to end, but I was in a meditation group this morning, and it was very inspiring. Somebody said something very inspiring that really helped me. She said, if we are an ocean, we're the ocean, and there's infinite space, right? And we're just, that's who we are.
Right.
And there's a shark coming through the ocean, right? Why do we have to? It's like, it doesn't have to bother me. Like, that
Right.
shark is doing his own thing. I'm still in the ocean. I'm still in my center. It's okay that there's a shark there, and that there's stuff I don't like, and there's a wave over there that that I don't like. Or I can still be in my vastness.
Yes.
I can.
The vastness. In the vastness, did I just lose Rachel? In the vastness, that vastness, that was great. We went to the vastness, and that moment we lose ourselves. That's how it was so great. In the vastness, we lost our personal
we went to
identity.
The vastness of the internet, of whatever that internet, the web, the vastness of the web. Two parts of the web. The web got disconnected for a second. So yeah. So anyway, that was really helpful for me, because then it's all good. It's like, it doesn't mean that we don't deal with things that we need to deal with, and we need to have our values out there, but it doesn't mean that somebody else that has to disturb.
Right.
I don't want to go into this. This is like a whole nother thing. So
we can talk about that one, but that's a perfect example. We're just going to be in the vastness and realize in the vastness there's always space to create that gateway to the door that we are feeling guided to go, and hold that continual space of love, and the fact that we're unmasking and we're all in the web together. Did I tie it all together? Love is in need of love.
Pretty much.
Sending love right back at you.
Sending love what it needs today.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much for staying up and being here with us. Yes.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you for what you're doing. Okay.
Right. Love you. Okay. And we're signing out.